Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
I'm Scott.
I'm John.
And we're married.
Hello.
And this is a knitting YouTube show.
It is. It's been our last episode we posted was June 6th.
Of 2021?
Yes, of 2021. So it's been a minute. It's been a whole summer, actually.
Yeah.
A whole, what do they call that?
Quarter?
No.
Whole season?
What do they call, like, summer, June 21st through... Oh, we're not quite there yet.
Oh, a whole solstice or whatever?
Yeah, whatever.
And I'm very nervous and I don't remember how to do this.
Help.
So, so we're back and we're going to get our cords off the table.
Yep.
So we're just going to try to get back into the swing of things. For those of you who've watched us in the past, it's not going to be anything majorly different.
Yeah, there might be a bit of content. We're not sure. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking mead.
Really?
And mine looks...
Mead, too.
Mine looks different than John's because I got the glass where all of the tannins had settled to the bottom, which is not a bad thing.
Nope.
Anybody out there who's a home brewer knows that there's sometimes sediment and things like that settle to the bottom. So John's look how we would give it to company.
Right.
And this is how we tastes no different.
No, it does not.
And I put the tannins in at the wrong step, and that's why there's so much in my glass.
Yeah.
But it doesn't change the flavor at all.
Nope.
So.
And this is our mead with, we think, cranberry or cherry?
I think this one's the cherry mead.
Okay.
So mead being basically wine made from honey.
Mm-hmm.
And this is about 4 months old, which
Yes,
is pretty...
It's since our last podcast, so I think
Yeah.
it was in May we did it.
Yeah.
So.
It's pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
For mead, typically you let it sit for 6-9 months, a year
We
longer.
got impatient.
But we're kind of testing it out and trying it as it ages. We ended up with about 30 bottles of this size of mead. We tried different flavors. We've been doing cider, hard cider, some ginger beer, which I need to get back into because I got kind of frustrated because I kept making basically carbonated water that tasted like ginger a little bit.
Which wasn't bad, it just wasn't ginger beer.
Yeah, it wasn't ginger beer. So,
but we'll talk more about that in a maybe later episode.
Yeah.
There is no SweetTeaNoShade segment.
Right.
We have other stuff to talk about because we have works, both in progress and not, or in progress and finished.
Yep.
We have some acquisitions.
Yep.
And we'll do a little segment of what have we been up to for the last 3 months.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. Everything is cool. Thank you. I know some people have been like, hey guys, where are you? It's been 2 months. And nothing bad, just have not been. I think part of it is summer never feels like a knitting time, if that makes sense, because it's hot. It's been really hot here and very dry here.
Yeah, it's been very hot.
So it doesn't get you in the knitting spirit, I suppose.
Yeah.
And then we just, I think one of the things we always said when we did this is that we would do this when we wanted to, and when we felt that we were excited about it. So,
but we're recharged. I think
we are recharged.
Yeah, I think we were trying. I think we felt like we were trying. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's like I don't know. It doesn't matter.
We've gone back and forth. The one thing there is not this one is we do not have our Angela Lansbury movie update.
No. I don't even remember what movie we were supposed to watch.
I do. If you tuned in in June, we were supposed to watch a movie called Mutiny. Which is, I think, a 50s black and white movie starring Angela Lansbury and some other people. And we will maybe try to watch that for the next one.
All right.
But we got plenty to talk about this time.
Yes.
So.
Oh, and I just see one of my finished objects over there across the room. All right. So, 20 minutes of
internet research.
Ad hoc, in the moment, just-in-time research. So we're going to start off by talking about the socks that we knit for Rhonda.
Yep.
Who lives in Arizona, who won a silent auction in February right?
March.
March, okay.
The first week of March.
First week of March. We each knit her a pair of socks. I had shown, I think, the socks that I knit for her.
Yeah, and I'd shown one sock that I'd finished. But now they're both done. All right, so here are the Shorty Socks that I knit.
Oh my god, don't do that.
Okay,
well, I'm going to show you how the other YouTubers do it.
oh my god. Are we the other YouTubers?
We're not, but see, now people can see both at the same time.
Oh, nice. So these are the Shorty Socks that I knit. I use the Rose City Rollers pattern. The yarn is this main body yarn is a yarn that we don't know what it is, but we
lost the ball band.
We lost the ball band, but when we showed the yarn to Rhonda, she really liked that. And then the heels and toes are Trilogy yarns. I think it's a violet.
When she had her Crayola.
Yeah. So I think these turned out really, really well. I don't know if you can tell. One heel is not like the other. This one, I don't remember which one's the right one, and which one of them I goofed on a little bit. I can't remember what I did, but...
Are you sure you're not thinking about the ones you did for me?
Oh, you're right, I am.
These are fine. These are correct.
These are fine.
So tell us about what pattern you used.
The Rose City Rollers pattern.
Oh, you said that. Okay.
And then instead of doing the stockinette at the top for the rolled top, I did 1x1 rib.
And is it regular rib or is it twisted
1x1.
rib?
Regular 1x1 rib.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with these. They did end up, after I washed and blocked them, getting a little big. So I shrunk them down a little bit in the dryer. So, but I still really like them. I think they're very cute and pretty.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Shorty Socks.
Oh my god, stop. All right, and this is the pair that I did for her, that I knit for Rhonda. So, I've shown these before, and part of the reason why we wanted to do an episode was so that we could show these and then get them in the mail to her, because it's been months and months and months. So
that's okay. Arizona winter isn't starting for another 2 months, so I think we're okay.
Right. So the colorway for the body I'm going to put on the screen because I don't remember. And then the heels and toes are Spud and Chloe yarn, but I don't remember the colorway either. So, but that'll actually, the information will either be on the screen or it'll be in the description box below where we put all of our show notes. So yeah, so this is also the Rose City Roller pattern, which is my favorite pattern to knit for socks. Except that instead of doing the roll, I do it top down, and instead of doing a rolled cuff, I do a 2x2 rib and then knit, what do I usually do, like 6 or 7 inches or something like that, and then I start the pattern, the Rose City Roller pattern, with the heel and and then go down to the heel, flap and gusset, and then go down to the toe. So we will get these in the mail.
I know where one of them was a little goofy. So you can't tell this. So I was doing...
It's homemade.
It's homemade.
It's handmade.
Made with love. So the toe is a hybrid of the two types of toes, because I started the toe and then skipped down to the second toe about halfway through for the first one, and I tried to duplicate it for the second one.
That's right.
So it's an original John Aspel Solidarity hybrid toe. So, but yeah.
All right. Well, we will get these off in the mail to Rhonda ASAP.
Yes, and I enjoyed doing Shorty Socks.
Good. Glad to hear it.
And I like the heel, flap, and gusset construction.
Cool.
It's just kind of fun and cool.
Cool. All right. So then I've got one work in progress that's almost a finished object. And then how much do you have?
So I have 1, 2, 3 works in progress. One work, what do you call the opposite when you're gonna frog it?
Work about to be destroyed.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay, why don't you start? Just do a bunch of yours and then I'll do mine.
I'll start with the work about to be destroyed.
Okay.
If I have it, which I don't. Actually, we don't have to talk about that one. That was just I was working on this vest
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know what happened. It was called the Vest for Charles. It's in this like red eggplant, no, red tomato color. And I got about this far into it. And I was knitting the 44-inch pattern, and it was like 55, 56 inches.
Did you ever figure out why?
I don't know. I think I the pattern said to block, did the gauge for stockinette. And I think it must be when I do the alternating knit, because it's a purl knit pattern. And I think that just ends up being bigger for me.
Because you knit traditional and then you switch to Portuguese knitting?
No. I think it's because my gauge isn't as tight because I'm constantly moving the yarn front to back.
Okay.
I don't know.
But did you knit stockinette and measure that for the gauge?
Yes.
But it still just didn't...
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay.
So we'll figure it out. I still want to do it, but it got to the point where I'm like, okay, I can either dig in and do this and be like, I'll shrink it down, I'll tailor it. And I'm like, no, let's just do it right.
Yeah.
So I've got to do some unraveling of that.
And you could do what I do, which is use that garment
as your
skein.
I will.
I've done that before.
It'll be interesting because I was trying to, when I do that, for about the last, I guess, couple of inches, I was using 2 skeins alternating because of their different dye lots. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I may just pull it out. I haven't decided yet. So, anywho, so that's that. The other thing I'm working on. Here we go. This is the pattern is called Upstairs.
It's not really called Upstairs.
No, but the pattern's upstairs. So it's like I don't know.
It'll be in the
show notes. So anyway, it's a hat. I don't know if folks can see this or not. We'll do maybe a close-up. But it's basically a hat with little flies on it. So I am making it for our neighbor Gems, who is super cool and would actually wear it. So, and the yarns are this red, which is an I don't know, and
I think that's
this is unicorn. So the red I don't know. That's just I think this
Lorna's
is
laces.
Lorna's, yeah, and then
Lorna's laces.
Lorna's
laces.
Yeah, and this is the blue is called it's the BFL sock, and it's called Starry Night, which is ironic. Not ironic. We just saw the Van Gogh.
Coincidental. I don't know if this is an international thing or if it's just in the United States, but it's kind of all over the United States right now. There's this traveling Van Gogh exhibit where it's kind of this immersive thing where you go in. For us, I mean, they pick different spaces, but you go into like a warehouse space and they project
the paintings, and they do they kind of
animate them, and
it sounds
the music is really awesome.
Yeah.
It's really, really, if you have a chance to go and it's in your city, it's totally worth it.
So yeah, I've been working on this for about a year. No, because I started this over New Year's.
Okay.
Because I remember swatching for it and doing the colors over New Year's. So it's got about I think it's on maybe 20 more rows left. So there's a party next week. Our neighbor Gems and her husband Yusin are having a...
Eunice.
Depends on.
Yusin is his nickname, I guess, yeah.
Right. They moved to the neighborhood a year ago, and they're having a thanks for being good neighbors party next week. And so my hope is to get this done before...
Well, you could do that.
Yeah. I just have to just power through and do 5 rows a day. It'll be fine. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's part of my knitting hats for our neighbors series. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Do you want to go? Or
in your bearded pearl bag.
In my bearded pearl bag. So should we talk about that? We can just...
Sure.
So, bearded pearl, Caleb and Justin, they do the Bearded Pearl podcast, and we actually did a meet up with them in La Crosse, Wisconsin, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago?
Something like that, yeah. We had the opportunity to hang out with them, and basically have a little mini knitting retreat
Right.
at a bed and breakfast there.
In La Crosse.
In La Crosse. And neither of us had ever been to La Crosse, Wisconsin, and it's actually a really cool place.
Yeah, it was super fun. So anyway, we have done some virtual knit nights with them and some other people, so it was just really kind of fun to meet them in person.
Yeah, I'm going to mess it up if I try to remember the different, who all we've met in person, because anyway, so we had a great time. We randomly went to the Irish Fest, which was there in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and ran into our next door neighbor there.
Yes.
Which is really weird, but awesome. So we had a great time.
Yeah, it was really fun. Just a nice excuse to get away for the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So,
why don't you do your next one?
Okay. So then another one. This is another work in progress. So this is... I've been working on this one for, I don't know how long. Maybe 2.5 years. I was working on it when we were in Italy. Which was fall of 2019. So this is, the pattern is called Thorn by Martin Storey. It is a colorwork sweater. And
Cardigan.
Cardigan, right. So I have finished the back.
Cool.
So yeah, I am super happy with that.
I love the way how heavy it is.
Yeah.
Because it's worsted.
Sure.
Cascade 220.
Cascade 220, whatever that is. I think it's worsted.
And it's color work, so it's double the thickness.
Yeah, so it feels nice and cozy. So did up to that. There's the neck shaping. And then... I'm super, again, it took a long time. But it was just... it's one of those things, like I think with a lot of knitting is this is really, so you have to pay attention while you're knitting it. So it just kind of goes slow. But anyway, I'm pretty happy about that. So that's the back of it. And I've started on one of the front panels now too. So the way it works...
Yeah, and if we can hold it so that because that one's different than this, right?
So they'll kind of go together like that.
But the pattern's different.
The pattern's different. The other side, so the way it works is the back and the right side are this pattern, and then as is the right sleeve, and the left sleeve and the left front panel are this. So, I don't know. I've been kind of just, picking this up, picking it down. The nice thing is with doing the front panel, it's a lot less knitting.
Oh, yeah.
So it goes a little faster.
A lot faster, yeah.
So anyway, it may be done before, I don't know when. But it's going. But I really do. I think the pattern is really lovely, and maybe my goal is to have it done by Christmas. Perhaps.
So the two panels and the sleeves, is there any more than that? I mean, they're seaming it together.
They're seaming it together, and then you have to do the
button band.
The button band, yeah, is done separately. So you put it all together, and then you sew it all together, and then you do the button band. So, and what they want you to do is they want you to...
You know what you could do?
What?
If you liked the way that this fit...
Mm-hmm.
You could do this pattern again, but not do the color work.
Yes.
If you like the cardigan fit of it, and if you wanted to steek it, because you had talked about wanting to try steeking.
Yeah. So what this one does is what it wants you to do is this is the stitches for the
button
band, which goes all the way up one side down to the behind the collar and back down. It wants you to knit it and then sew it, attach it. What I think I'm going to do is, when I get it all together, I'm going to knit it and then join it as I knit it. With like a slip knit or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it just seems like a little easier and less likely to all weird in the wrong way.
Hey, Linus. People can't see the knitting when you sit there.
Look, it's a cat sweater.
It's a cat sweater.
We don't make sweaters for our cats. They don't need them. They don't go outside. And they're also covered in big fluffy fur. So, hi. So yeah, that is... I'm kind of... the way it's working is I'm going to finish the hat first, is what I'm focusing on now, because I want to get that done. And then once that's done, I will pick this back up.
Cool.
All right.
Somebody just found a Velcro thing
it's
to play with.
the most fun thing in the world. Why don't you do yours and then...
Okay. So, part of the reason we haven't been podcasting is because I wasn't really feeling in the mood. I don't know why. I just kind of ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
I just wasn't feeling it. So, when we were going to be going to the lacrosse bed and breakfast to hang out with Caleb and Justin. I almost said Jessica. I'm going to call him Jessica from now on.
He'll actually really like that.
I was like, I can't go on a knitting retreat and not knit. I mean, you can, but I just, I wanted to use it as an opportunity to get back into it.
It was just funny because, like, hey, buddy.
He can do that. It's not going to hurt anything.
It was just funny because, like, the nice thing about going to hang out with other knitters is, like, it's like, what are you going to do? Well, we're going to hang out and knit together.
Right.
So it takes the pressure off planning a weekend.
Yeah. Although I felt like we did a lot more stuff than knit. It was, which is cool. For sure. So anyway, I was like, whenever I've kind of gotten in a rut or gotten stuck on a project or something, and sometimes I'm like, well, if I'm going to knit, I need to knit on that. And I've talked about this before. I need to knit on the project that I've got underway, and I need to finish that project. But I don't want to.
That's dangerous.
So then I never knit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, anytime I kind of get in a rut, I grab some sock yarn and a 9-inch circular and start knitting away a sock. And it always puts me back in the mood, which worked again.
Yep.
So speaking of which... we finished the socks for Jessica.
Rhonda.
Oh, God. Everybody's Jessica.
Right.
Who the heck is Jessica? I guess Jessie is Jessica. Rhonda, I'm now going to, because these are almost done, I'm going to start working on the socks for the other person that won our auction. Those will be coming up in a future podcast. Anyway, so I grabbed some sock yarn, I grabbed my 9-inch circulars, I grabbed my bearded Purl sock bag, and so I ended up... What?
No one's paying attention to you.
Why?
They're watching the cat. They're watching the sweet little baby cat.
So I ended up knitting, again, the Rose City Rollers pattern because I love it, and I knit some socks, some crazy shorty socks for myself.
What's the yarn?
I'm gonna get to all that.
Okay, sorry. I'm just trying to help.
You're the one who never remembers the details, dear.
You're the one who remembers ball bands.
I kept it this time. I mean, I know what it is, but did I keep it? I've been trying to be better about that. Is it in here? Oh, look how small it is. Oh, yes, I kept the ball band inside.
Oh, okay.
Oh, because normally I pull from the inside. But it's like a tiny cake. I haven't looked at it since I started. Anyway, oh my God, focus. So this is the finished sock. It is Dye Monkey Yarn's Punk Rock Parakeet colorway.
Right. It's such a good colorway name.
Yeah, it is. And I love the yarn. So, interesting thing about this situation. So I had gone to a store. I don't remember which one it was. And I had bought 2 or 3  9-inch circulars because I'm like, I love them. I always use them. There's only been one that's been destroyed, and it was by somebody who chewed on it on the cord, and so it ended up getting little bumps on it from kitten teeth.
Oh no.
And so I couldn't use it anymore. But I bought several pair, and I ended up buying. So I used 2.5 millimeter 9-inch circulars to knit all my socks. I bought US 2.5, which is 3 millimeter.
Right.
I bought like 3 pair, and maybe I'll find a use for them.
You know what you use those for? I feel like when I did those
Like worsted?
Yeah,
or...
the worsted or the DK socks.
DK.
I use 3s.
Well, these are 2.5s.
But you might use them. They might work.
Whatever. Yes. Yeah. I mean, point being, I bought the wrong size, and I knit the cuff and the heel in the wrong size. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going back. I'm just gonna leave it as it is. And this sock fits great. I just did the rest of it in the 2.5 millimeter. So one thing I did differently this time was for the cuff. I'm obsessed with the the brim that's in the not Montrealer, the Metropolitan hat from the first issue of Rib magazine.
Yes.
And so it's
R.I.P.
Sorry, there's cat hair floating everywhere now. I wonder why. But you knit double the length of the brim that you want. You fold it over, and you do a provisional cast on, connect it together, and you've got this folded over brim. And I'm like, I'm going to do that for my Shorty Socks. And so that's what I did here. So it's thicker. It's a thicker, Somebody wants attention. No, you can leave him here. He's okay.
No, I was going to give him attention while you start the shot.
So, folded over brim. And so I think that'll be kind of fun. And so I am I've just got the toe left on the second sock. Oh my God, what is this? Yarn barf everywhere. But the thing that's funny is I might or might not have had a few cocktails. When was it? Friday? No, it was Thursday.
Yeah.
Or was it Saturday?
I don't remember. No, it wasn't when your folks were here.
No. I'm talking about yesterday or 2 days ago, 3 days ago. Anyway, I think it was yesterday. Anyway, I started putting another heel instead of a toe. I started doing the slip knit, slip knit, slip knit, and then purling on the wrong side to create the heel. I started doing that on the toe. So I had to rip back, I think it was yesterday. So I had to rip back a couple rows. And so yeah, I've just got the toe to do, and then these will be done.
Yay.
So this is an awesome little yarn cozy from Pete Moss and Novelties. We bought it from Leading Man Fiber Arts.
Yep.
But what I like about it is it's got little snaps. And what I like about it is I decided I couldn't find the yarn that was on the inside, and I decided to put my ball band in there anyway, and then I've been pulling from the outside of the cake. And what's nice about that is it doesn't deflate the cake. You know how when you pull from the inside it gets weird near the end? It stays nice and firm and tight. That's what she said. And then but having it in the ball bag allows it to spin around in here and not get weird, tangled or anything like that. So yeah, so loving knitting again. And so what's kind of fun is there's several projects that I've got that are works in progress. That we have a ladder. It's not a real ladder. It's like a decorative ladder.
You would normally put blankets on it.
Oh, duh.
Right.
That's what it's for.
Right.
Did you know that when you bought it?
Yep.
See, I never knew that. I just thought it was a weird decorative ladder. Now that makes a lot more sense. Well, now I want to put blankets on it. And we can pile all of our works in progress in the thing where we've got our blankets. Let's do that.
Well, we've already put hooks on. It doesn't matter.
Whatever. So I started looking through all the bags, and I discovered a lot of projects that are halfway done that I'm excited to finish.
Never your mojo back.
The one thing that I'm worried about is, I don't know if other people have this problem, is sometimes when I put a project down, I don't always know that it's going to be a year until I pick it up. I think it's going to be tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I don't always do the best about marking where I left off.
Right.
And so I might pick some of these up. I guess I can read the knitting and count.
Yeah.
Figure out where I am. But I'm just a little worried about that. About some of these projects where it's like, oh, where the heck was I?
Yeah.
So, of course, I use a lot of highlighter tape, and I use, on the iPad, I use the Knit Companion or whatever
Yeah.
that app is. So hopefully it'll be okay. But yeah, so it might be kind of fun if I kind of tackle some of those. I'll have several finished objects.
Yeah, coming up because they're halfway done, right?
Because, well, yeah, a lot of them are
More than halfway done.
more than halfway done. So yeah. So Punk Rock Parakeet is the colorway. I decided that with this yarn being as fun as it is, I didn't need a contrasting heel and toe.
I like how it kind of, it's self-striping the way you, whatever, I mean, obviously, but it's not rigid.
Well, it does that pooling. Like if I were to knit a shawl or a scarf or something with it, it would have pooled. But I like how up here it pooled because you're knitting all this and then you're knitting the gusset. You know, you're knitting these sections, and so it kind of pooled at the top, and then down here it's striped, and then down here it got smaller stripes because of the toe, because you're making it smaller and yeah, I really like that kind of effect with the yarn. So all right, so I'm almost done with that.
Excellent. So I've got one more work in progress, and then we do acquisitions and life events.
Fun.
So this is a scarf that I've been working on.
Holy cow!
I know. So this is called,
I feel like it was like this long last time I saw it.
Yeah. So this is one of the ones. So this is called the Cayden Scarf. Who was it by? Sorry, babe. It's about halfway done, I think. It's called the Caden by Kyle Kaneki. So it is just a scarf. It's kind of hard to see, but it's got this
We'll have to do a close
slip
up.
stitch pattern, which I think turns out really nicely.
It creates like a little chevron or whatever.
And the yarn is...
It's the Dovas.
Yes, Alpacas de Dovas. And it is 8515 Surrey Merino, and it's called Raven.
Nobody gets that joke, John.
I know. What about Raven? So yeah, this is one. So I actually picked this up when we did our knitting weekend with Justin and Caleb, and so we had a nice little drive down to La Crosse. So I
can tell that I've had my mead now because I'm like, oh, Justin and Caleb, they were so much fun.
I know. I'm actually really glad we got a chance to meet them.
Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
They're lovely people.
I mean, not as lovely as we are.
Well, they're lovely in a different way.
We'll give them that.
They're differently lovely. So yeah, this is a 500 yards of a ball band of 500, and my plan is just to knit the whole thing.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Because I've got...
So it was 500 yards for 7 ounces, which I don't know what that is in grams.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just...
I think it's more than 100 grams.
Right. So I think it's about a yard right now. So maybe just go for 6 feet. So I really like this. This is my potato chip popcorn knitting.
Really? Because I think when you started this project, you were like, oh, it'll never be...
I mean,
popcorn
so I would
knitting
never...
Or potato chip knitting.
It's not quite as easy as doing a
sock.
A sock, or like doing a sweater that's all stockinette. But like if it's a moderately engaging television show, I can totally do this.
Okay.
So
because you've got the repeat memorized. I assume.
Yeah, easily. And I can read it, and it's pretty easy. So yeah, this is quite... I'm excited about this getting...
Well, multiple people have commented on, bless you, my child, for knitting with black alpaca yarn.
Yeah, okay, so let's talk about the hate crime that happened in my life today. So...
I haven't heard about this.
I went to the eye doctor.
Oh, yeah. Full-on hate crime.
So I've been short-sighted my entire life. I got cheaters.
But you're really old.
I know. So, like, it's sad because, like, I've been nearsighted my whole life. So the one thing I always...
You know what you said?
What?
You said you've been short-sighted.
Short-sighted. That too. So
I was like, that doesn't sound right, but I don't know why.
And so, you know, and therefore, like, reading and close-up stuff's my whole time. And so, but it's gotten harder to see stuff close up.
It's because you're old.
It's 'cause I'm old. And I put these little cheaters on, and it's so much better. It makes me real sad.
Well, and let me see. I'm I might have to borrow your cheaters because my cheaters work, but no, I'm going to keep my I started wearing cheaters about a year ago, and I'm going to keep my cheaters because mine are the little ones, and so I can watch TV and look down. And
yeah, I would just
the
do these
full-size ones, I don't...
Yeah, I mean, I put these on, and, like, back there's a big disaster. But up close is fabulous. So, anyway.
So even with your contacts in?
Yeah, I mean, I would, if I wanted to see far away, I'd do that. But, like, if I'm, like, looking close, this is great.
Interesting.
I
mean, yeah, I don't understand how that all works.
Yeah, no. All I know is that it's very frustrating that I'm getting farsighted and my nearsightedness is not getting any better.
You know what you need?
What? Bifocals? No. They said, do you want a contact lens prescription with bifocals? I'm like, no, that sounds...
Nobody would know.
No, that sounds okay. That sounds like it would make you seasick.
Well, have you tried it?
Nope. There's stuff that I don't need to try to know I don't want it.
There's a little puppy dog staring at us.
I know. So yeah, that is going well.
So is that your last project to show?
I think so. So...
Should we talk about acquisitions?
Sure.
All right,
We
so...
can also talk about... Oh, yeah. Okay.
So we went to Madison. I had a work conference there. For any of you who work in healthcare, if you know the Epic, the software Epic, I went to the conference, their annual users group conference. And what did I just say? The electronic health record Epic, that software. Mm-hmm. They had their corporate headquarters is in Madison, Wisconsin. I went there for their annual users group conference. And while we were there, of course, whenever we travel, and John tagged along because he can work from anywhere. So did Harris. Because John can work from anywhere, and so he came along and we had a good time. And we always like to go to a yarn store and buy souvenir yarn, preferably local dyers. So we went to a shop called
Fiddlesticks,
which is I think it's like brand new.
Yes, so they had been open for about 2 weeks when I went there. So it's in East Madison, West Madison.
I thought it was in North Madison.
I don't remember. It's in a section of Madison.
Yeah, well, I'll probably correct us on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
So they were delightful.
The person working there was just
very welcoming, very outgoing.
So excited to be.
So excited.
Yeah, it was great. I don't know if they were the owner or they were fabulous.
No, not the owner.
Okay.
The owner, they made reference to the owner.
Okay.
But
yeah, it was so cool.
So I want to show the yarn about.
Okay.
So these are not. I did not buy these needles. These needles are floating around. I don't know why they're out. So first of all, I bought. Oh, and I can't remember why I bought this. Oh yeah, I was gonna make mittens out of it or something. It's sport weight. Mm-hmm. The dyer is Evergreen Fiber Works.
Okay.
And they said they were local, but you know what? I didn't look up where they're located. I assume in the Madison area.
Yeah.
But it's sport weight. It's 100% merino. It's 100 grams, 328 yards, and the colorway is Enchanted Forest.
Cool. And I got, this is
from the same dyer.
Same dyer. It is DK. It is
100 grams, 231 yards.
Superwash merino, and it is called Pollinate. So I want to figure out this is like a really good, I think. So what I want to do with this is do like part of an Icelandic sweater yoke with it.
Do you know what else it would be good for?
What?
You know that hat that I knit for Nate where it's got the dark bands that go up? That could be the main color, and then you could do like a maroon or a brown.
Yes, that would look a little too much like Golden Gophers, but yes.
Oh, well, I like the Golden Gophers.
I know.
We're both alumni. We're both alumni. I know, I was kidding. We're both alumni. What?
Nothing. I was just trying to figure out we're both alumni.
Each of us is an alumnus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I got confused. So anyway, or navy blue.
Yeah, I
You're going to forget about that yarn in like 2 weeks, and then I'm going to grab it and knit that hat out of it.
you are welcome to it. I've decided that. So we have a pretty substantial yarn stash, and I feel like at this point in our lives, if I'm not actively using it for a project or I have it bookmarked for a project, it's all fair game. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this I don't know if there are sport weight mitten patterns. I would assume that there are. But if not, I mean, I could hold it double and see what
The
that
nice
makes.
about mittens is they're not a lot of fabric.
Right.
So you could actually probably make a pair of mittens out of that even held double. So
All right. So the other yarn that I bought was from I bought this for Charles and I forgot I had it. Our friend Charles is obsessed with, I can't tell him because he watches our show.
yeah, don't hide it. It's okay.
Okay, anyway, it's a knitting thing, and he doesn't knit, but I think he'll like it anyway. He can use it for something else. I bought some of these little stitch holders because I love these things. I just think they're cool. I don't need them. I just like them.
They're nice to have.
All right, so the other yarn that I bought was from Lady Purl.
We both. Oh my god! So we actually bought the exact same stuff.
The same dyers.
The same dyers, and these are.
Oh yeah.
So anyway.
So the owner is Lindsay Miller.
Owner.
What did I say?
The owner.
The owner of Lady Purl yarn
Uh-huh.
is Lindsay Miller. And it says dyes each skein of yarn right on her kitchen stove.
Oh, of Lady Purl. I thought you meant like the store. I got very confused.
Oh, it's Fiddlesticks was the name of the store.
I thought you were having a moment.
So this
I'm
is
sorry.
sock yarn. It is 100 grams, 462 yards, 75/25 merino nylon. And the color, it's made in Milwaukee.
Okay.
The colorway is In Lesbian With You. I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I loved the colorway, and then I'm like, okay, with a colorway name like In Lesbian With You.
Yeah. You need to
Oh,
buy
wait,
it.
In Lesbians With You.
Right.
Heart. And then there's a heart at the end.
Yeah.
I just was like, yeah, I'm going to have to buy that yarn.
Cool.
So,
I also got yarn from Lady Purl. This is her sparkle sock, so I don't know if you can see it's sparkly. And it's called Steven Universe, which is, of course, the TV show, which I've watched a bit of. And I think I'm going to try to make mittens or a hat for my niece, Aviana, with
that's
this.
right. That's right. I forgot you were going to do that for Aviana.
Yeah.
It's a sock yarn, but it's got 5% stellina in it.
Starlina.
Or, as John says, Starlina.
Starlina. And it's got nylon in it, which is good for kids' stuff. A little stronger.
Sure.
Maybe I'll make our socks.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, sure.
I haven't decided yet,
Yeah.
but I just think
I was gonna say yeah, but she'll grow out. Well, she's gonna grow out of a hat or mittens too. So
right. I mean, so Aviana is exactly what I need in a niece. She likes sparkle princess stuff.
Much to her father's chagrin,
They're
and her mother's, but much to her parents' chagrin.
I think they've come around. They just they've tried to be very, very like non-gender directive,
right?
For lack of a better word.
Let her do it. Let both her and her brother do whatever they want to do. And we ended up with Aviana, who likes sparkly, shiny princess things, and
Anson, who likes trucks and dinosaurs.
And trucks and dinosaurs and Star Wars.
Yeah. So all good. Speaking of Star Wars, so what I got, these are from Fangirl Fibers, and it's a set of stitch.
If she makes stitch markers that are this cool,
yeah.
I think our whole setup just wiggled a little bit with our animals.
Yeah.
But I want to go to her website because I bet she has all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah. So her name is Fangirl Fibers. Fangirlfibers.net is her website, and an Instagram, Fangirl Fibers. This will be in the show notes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, but it's got C3PO, Luke, Leia, him, Han,
Chewie,
R2D2, and Chewie.
yeah,
And C3PO. Did I say that
and
already?
it looks like they're burnt on, maybe.
Yeah, it's that wood. It looks like that. What do they call that? Harris, you're shaking our whole world.
We love you, buddy.
All right, so what did you want to talk about from like our moments in our life?
So I just think we do a little sort of recap of the fun stuff we've done over the last couple of months.
Okay.
So we talked about our trip to La Crosse, our trip to Madison. Went to the Van Gogh exhibit. We haven't done really any other trips, have we?
Why is it every time you pour a glass, it's all crystal clear, and when I pour a glass, it's got like full of tannins?
Because I shake it up after I pour it.
Jerk. Doesn't taste any different.
No. Let's see what else. Santiago's still very cute. We're going to go see him.
We just drank an entire bottle of mead.
We'll make our podcast extra fun.
But it's only like, we only made it like 8 or 9%, I think.
Sure.
Alcohol.
So, what else do we do? We've done a lot of neighborhood hanging out.
Yeah.
We went to...
I can't remember anything.
Oh, we went to go see the Music Man at Chanhassen.
Oh yeah,
which
so
was
there's
super
a
fun.
there's a local. Would you call that would you call that like a regional professional theater?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
They pay all their So it's called Chanhassen Dinner Theater. They are an institution.
Oh
So we went with some neighbors of ours who'd been going since they were kids.
Yeah.
I think it's around for like 40 years, and it was like one of those things, and like it.
We'll be done in just a minute.
No, we won't.
Go lay down. We'll be down in just a minute. I promise. We'll be done in just a minute. Okay. Go sit down. Go sit down. Okay. I promise. We'll be done in a minute.
So we went in like early June, maybe.
I don't remember.
Can't remember. So, it was very exciting because it was they had closed down for about a year, and they had just started up again and went with our neighbors. And I was a little surprised that you wanted to go because of your family's history at that musical.
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah. So
I'd forgotten about that. Thanks, John. You always
I
bring
know.
up trauma.
I'm sorry. So I guess we should just get it all out and talk about the production of the Music Man that Betty Ann was involved in.
Right.
So let's introduce, because we've not podcast for a while. Who is Betty Ann?
Oh, Betty Ann is my mother. I love her very much, even though
She is her own person.
She is her own person. She's the one that got me really into knitting and podcasting and everything.
So this is all her fault. She can't complain.
Correct. She's the one that raised me.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were separated from when I was young, and she raised me.
She was delighted that she got a gay son.
She was delighted that she got a gay son. She would like to take credit for making me gay, which is a little problematic. And then, so she still lives in the town that I grew up in, which is Albany, Georgia, Leesburg, Georgia, in the southwest corner of Georgia.
Great. So that's just, we love Betty Ann. We tell stories about her and her wild adventures. And this is about her one-time kind of dabble into community theater.
Right.
So, not surprisingly, like a lot of community theaters, the Albany Players were doing the Music Man.
Albany Little Theater.
Albany Little Theater was doing the Music Man. And
I think it's now called Theater Albany, but at the time it was Albany Little Theater.
yeah. And so, I don't know if everyone else, I've been in the Music Man. I was a little
urchin.
I was not an urchin. Town's child.
You weren't the kid with the list.
I was not the kid with the list. I was just some random kid in the band. So a lot of people have been in the Music Man. A lot of community theaters do it. A lot of high schools do it like that. So the Albany Little Theater Players were doing the Music Man, and Betty Ann auditioned, and she got the part of Eulalie McKechnie Shin, who was the mayor's wife, which is a really fantastic part for her. It's like big, dramatic, and gets some really, really funny
Say the
lines.
name slower.
Eulalie McKechnie Shin.
It's a very fun
The
character
mayor's wife.
name.
Very fun character. if you've met Betty Ann, you would. If I was going to cast the show, that's where I'd put her.
Right.
She's a little too salty to be marrying the librarian.
No, yeah, she's a force to be reckoned with.
So anyway, you know, it's a great part, but it's not the lead.
Well,
I mean,
try telling her that.
Right. And so Betty Ann also really liked the movie growing up, the Music Man movie with Shirley Jones and Robert Preston, which played on my PBS station for like...
Todd Michael Thomas will correct you if you got any of that wrong.
I don't think I did, because I used to watch it all the time.
Okay.
There's one point in my life where I could only watch PBS.
Oh my God, children.
Where my parents were like, you can only watch public television, because that's my parents.
Okay. This is true. And anyway, we're not going to get into that. About the time that you broke the TV and your family didn't have TV for several years.
Yeah, no,
your siblings wanted to murder you.
Yeah. When we got a TV, my dad decided that I was watching too much Knight Rider. And that... So I couldn't watch TV in the evening after like 7 o'clock anymore. But I could watch PBS. Like, that was okay. But I couldn't watch the big bad networks.
When I hear things like this, I'm like, God, it makes so much sense. See, Betty Ann's like feeding me TV dinners and cereal for dinner.
Yeah.
And letting us watch Poltergeist. And, yeah.
And we didn't have cable. So it was basically they were cutting off from me ABC, NBC, and CBS. Like, the big sin networks. So anyway... I watched a lot of PBS growing up, and so I watched The Music Man a lot because it was on all the time. So anyway, Eulalie McKechnie Shin, as played by Betty Ann, is a great part, but not the lead. But Betty Ann was trying to make the most of her moments on stage. Surprise. So anyway, in the movie...
Quelle surprise.
So one of the things that her character does is there's a number called Pick a Little, Talk a Little. Pick a little, talk a little, pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a little more, pick a little, talk... So it's about gossiping ladies, and they sound like chickens. In the movie, they actually have chickens...
Guys, I know we're not giving you attention. Okay, go ahead.
So in the movie, they actually have chickens in the scene, right? So they're doing the pick a little, talk a little, cheep, 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 talk a little more, and they have these chickens running around on the scene. So Betty Ann saw that and is like, I bet I can bring chickens on stage. Kind of like Backdraft, Feel the Heat.
Right. From, what was that from?
Waiting for Guffman.
Waiting for Guffman.
So Betty Ann went out to the chicken store and got 5 chickens.
Well, they have baby chicks at the hardware store, so that's where she went.
And she raised them. Because she was long-term thinking. I don't know how long did chickens take to grow up.
Few months.
So, like, she got cast, had her idea, and during the rehearsals, the chickens grow from baby chicks to chickens. So there are 5 of them. And she's like, they're going to be on...
5 of them?
5 of them.
Okay.
They'll be on stage with me on the Pick a Little, Talk a Little stuff. And
has she told the director and all this?
No, she sort of brought them in one day to rehearse, like, this is happening. And the director's like, okay. So, there were issues with chicken poop.
Of course.
But they were a big hit. Big hit. And Betty Ann even knit little outfits for them. Chicken outfits. And Betty Ann, being Betty Ann, who loves all creatures and animals, got very attached to them, the 5 chickens.
Mm-hmm. And I know this. I remember this growing up.
And she gave them names.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know what Betty Ann's favorite TV show is.
Star Trek, right?
No, Star Trek: The Next Generation.
Oh, Star Trek: The Next Generation. That's right.
So
she had a time where she really liked Chips, but
yeah. But this is after. I mean, this Chips is no longer on the TV,
right? Because this is when I was growing up.
Yeah, late 80s.
Oh, that's right. Because when she was growing up, she wanted to have the Star Trek: Next Generation birthday party.
Well, the Star Wars and Star Trek. She would ask her parents either one.
Oh, Star Wars. That's right. Yeah.
So, but she loved Star Trek: The Next Generation. And so she named all the chickens after the actresses in it.
Okay.
So she did Gates McFadden, she did Marina Sirtis, she did Dana Mulder, she did Rosalind Chow, and she did Denise Crosby.
Okay.
So she was attached to them. It was really cute. But of course, Betty Ann's favorite character, you can kind of tell a lot about a person by which next gen person they're
character.
most excited about. So I'm a Will Riker person. I realize he is relationship garbage, but you know,
I'm a Counselor Troy.
yeah. So Betty Ann, this is just a side. This is a tangent. We'll get to the chickens eventually. But Betty Ann loved Geordie LaForge.
Right.
She likes him nerdy
Yeah.
and
blind.
blind. And you may not know this, but she had a little Geordie LaForge fan club going on for a little while.
Doesn't surprise me.
They were called the console lightning effects
I don't even know what that means.
because they wanted to attack him and roll around the floor with him like the console lightning effects.
Oh, like whenever there would be lightning that jumped out of the console.
Yeah, so Geordie would go, "Blah!" and then roll.
This is a real nerd deep cut, honey.
I know. Hey, it's Betty Ann.
It's Betty Ann.
There's actually a really fun picture of her with LeVar Burton at a convention wearing a t-shirt that says console
lightning
effect.
effects.
And you can sort of see in the pictures, there's a couple of pictures, as he realizes what it means.
Well, our audience doesn't realize what it means, so.
The console lightning effects. It means
I know.
we want to attack.
I know, it's a deep nerdy cut.
I know.
Keep going.
If you get it, you get it. Yeah. So anyway, we'll close that little loop. Yeah. So anyway, the chickens were a big hit. Everyone loved the chickens.
Yeah.
Like
Gates and Marina.
Gates, Marina, Denise, Dana, and Rosalind.
Right.
So, so fantastic. It really, people loved it. Betty Ann got a little concerned about being upstaged by the chickens, but at least the attention was near her. Mm-hmm. So they had a really successful run in the Albany Theater Playhouse.
Albany Little Theater.
And so it was so successful they started doing some outdoor productions. So I can't remember, there's a park in Albany.
Lime Sink
With the river near it.
Because
they're doing like a Shakespeare in the Park type thing, right?
Yeah. By the river, I think it's just Flint Park.
Flint Park. So
yeah, because it's on the Flint River.
Yeah, so they set up a pavilion, sort of temporary pavilion, and there's the Music Man in there. And so, great success. People loved it. And then one day, so I think, this is South Georgia. Mm-hmm. So one day during a performance, and the chickens were doing their business, a gator came up. And
we had alligators that would come up into our neighborhood when I was growing up, and we were worried they were going to get the neighborhood dogs.
Yeah, and to be fair, these are chickens, right?
Right.
Talk about delicious.
Right.
So the gator comes up, Denise Crosby, eaten. And this is during
their performance?
During the Pick a Little Talk a Little, a gator comes on stage. And so Betty Ann is very upset.
They call them gators in Florida. In Georgia, we call them alligators.
Oh, alligators.
Yeah.
So an alligator came on stage, and Betty Ann was like, you can take Denise Crosby. You will not take Gates McFadden.
Right.
So luckily,
I'm assuming Gates McFadden had like a red crest.
Yeah. They all sort of worked like that. The Marina Sirtis felt that was a very that chicken felt things very deeply.
Yeah.
So luckily, Betty Ann had her gator wrestling tube top on underneath the costume. So she just
Well, it's got all those pockets with all of her gator gear.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So she's like, stop the press everybody. This alligator is not getting my babies.
Right.
And you can't gator wrestle properly without the tube top.
Right.
So she just whipped off the tube top, the costume.
She whipped off the tube top.
Whipped off her costume.
Yeah.
And she wrestled that gator.
I was in the audience.
It was pretty. I mean, there is bootleg VHS tape of it somewhere, but we haven't found it.
No.
But I hear
she has one. She has a copy.
Yeah. So she wrestled the gator. The gator went back into the Flint River. Everyone was safe, except for poor Denise Crosby, who just went away.
Yeah.
Died instantly in the gator attack. The chickens were traumatized. Dana Mulder, she disappeared. We never saw her ever again.
That's coincidental.
Yeah.
That's ironic.
Well, it's okay because her and Gates McFadden couldn't be on the stage at the same time anyway.
Thank God for Betty Ann and her Gator Gear tube top.
I know. So, unfortunately, that was kind of the end of that production. Like, once you've had a gator wrestling and a chicken eaten on stage, like, they're like, you know what, kids, this is... But, like, once you've had that happen, once you've had a gator eat a chicken on stage, the magic is gone. The illusion is shattered.
It's true.
So,
pick a little, talk a little.
pick a little, talk a little, chomp, chomp, chomp.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
So yeah, that happened, and...
I don't know why you feel the need to relive my personal trauma through our podcast.
Well, I mean, I was just proud of you for going to Music Man, because I know that it brings up...
Well, I knew that we were... Well, it helped that there were no chickens on stage, and I was eating the Chanhassen chicken, was the dish that I ordered. Because it's a dinner theater, it's like a dinner club. What's that called?
Dinner theater.
Yeah, but it's kind of like a supper club.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got supper club kind of food.
Yeah. So you get Chanhassen chicken, which is probably not one of those chickens. But,
no, hopefully not.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the end of that production. And Betty Ann felt bad because she loved those chickens. And again, one of them died, one of them ran away, and the rest of them were traumatized.
Right. They never cheaped or picked again.
Yeah. They just sort of like sat there sadly for the rest of their chicken lives. And here's the deal. Fairly or unfairly, Betty Ann was kind of blamed for this.
Okay.
So, and here's the deal, and I don't know if this is a coincidence or not, but there's a producer for the new reality TV show called Georgia Florida Gator Wrestling in the audience, and people thought that was a little bit too much of a coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
that she staged it.
I'm saying
she did really well on the Florida Georgia Gator Wrestling reality show. She did really well on that.
She did really well
on that show.
And I think people resented her success.
Right.
And thought that what I think happened is I think she was aware that something like this might happen, which is why she had the tube top ready to go.
Right.
I don't think she thought Denise Crosby would be
she thought she'd get the gator before it got Denise Crosby.
Yeah. So it's really sad.
Okay, so on that note.
So Betty Ann, we love you so much. Mm-hmm. You never disappoint.
No.
So
I don't know why I've told you all these stories.
They're when you get to know someone through 6 years of marriage and
12 years of being together.
Yeah. You just you gotta fill the time somehow.
Right. All right, well, what's coming up next for us in our lives?
If you're still with us.
Yeah.
What is coming up? So, next week...
we might be going caving in South Dakota.
Yes.
Spelunking.
We're going to go see my nephew... Speaking of theater, my nephew Aaron is a freshman in high school, and he's going to be in the school production of A Christmas Carol. So we're going to go see that I think it's in November. And then next week, we are going to Knitting River Cruise. That's right, with Darn Knit Anyway. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. We'll get some pictures for that, and it should be super fun. Yeah. And then we're going to see an opera in Chicago in November as well. So. Yep. But anyway, thank you guys for being with us. Yeah. We hope to be back sooner than later. Yeah. And so have a great time. So if you can't see this, but we have a dog and a cat looking at us being like, why haven't you fed us? Because they haven't gotten DINNER, have they? They have not. No wonder they're being so crazy. Okay. Anyway, thanks everybody. All right, bye. Bye.